Welcome to Standard Voice News Channel. I am Samira Ibrahim. Here are your top stories for today. Nigerian Army remains resolute to the peace and stability of the nation. Northern Group demands state of emergency on insecurity. Senate is to investigate gas tanker explosions in the country. On business, 5-man delegation from BORNO arrives MINNA on study tour of grazing reserves. And on the international scene, America is bracing for possible violence as U.S. election nears. Now the news in details. The Nigerian Army wishes to reassure law-abiding citizens that it is highly committed to the sustenance of peace, security and defense of democracy in Nigeria. As a responsible and law-abiding organization, the Nigerian Army reaffirms its unalloyed loyalty and commitment to the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and the Constitution of the country. In a statement, the Nigerian Army warns all subversive elements and troublemakers to desist from such acts, as it remains highly committed to defend the country and her democracy at all costs. It further said it is ready to fully support the civil authority in whatever capacity to maintain law and order and deal with any situation decisively. It said all officers and men are directed never to be distracted by anti-democratic forces and agents of disunity. The Zamfara State House of Assembly has passed a resolution mandate its Committee on Appropriation and Finance to investigate an alleged over 37 billion naira meant for the construction of federal roads. The money was said to have been diverted by the former governor, Abdulaziz Yari's administration. It also resolved to call on the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, United Bank for Africa, UBA, and Nigeria's Governors Forum to withdraw all documents concerning the said money until the committee concludes their investigation. Rahma Ibrahim reports.
The resolution is following an executive request for legislative backing to recover the money. The alleged diversion of the over 37 billion naira for the construction of federal roads has continued to generate attention. As the Zamfara State House of Assembly has mandated its Committee on Appropriation and Finance and some co-opted lawmakers to investigate the allegations and report back to the House within 2 weeks, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Alhaji Nasiru Mu'azu Magaria, said that the said money is meant for Zamfara people, hence the House will not allow it to go like that. The chairman of the committee, Muhammad Jangiru, promised that the committee will carry out its assignments thoroughly, without fear or favor. The lawmakers, after deliberation on the allegations, unanimously passed the resolution. They said the state needs money to address the effect that banditry activities had left on some rural communities in the state. I am Rahma Ibrahim Dusara, reporting for Standard Voice Television.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State has described the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SAS) and its successor Special Reforms and Tactics (SWAT) as being the same thing. Governor Tambuwal made the comparison Wednesday when he swore in the chairman and members of the Sokoto State Independent National Electoral Commission in Government House Sokoto. According to him, although the effort of the government in axing the infamous SAS is commendable, President Muhammadu Buhari and the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, nonetheless should not be in a haste to foist another notorious body on Nigerians. Instead, the governor suggested that the IGP should consult widely with Nigerians on what kind of police reform is most suitable for the citizens and the country. He said, merely changing the name of SAS to SWAT is not the solution to the myriads of problems that the country had been facing, but advised Mr. President to recruit more people into Nigerian security outfits. Coalition of northern groups has urged the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the insecurity ravaging the country, particularly the north. Alhaji Abdulaziz Suleiman, the spokesman for the group, made the call at the news conference in Abuja on Wednesday and called on the government to take urgent steps to end the situation. He particularly decried the insecurity situation in the northern part of the country, noting that in spite of several pleas by the people of the region, authorities had refused to show more interest. Alhaji Suleiman also criticized the attitude of the northern elite and its leaders, who had abandoned the majority of the northerners to the mercy of vicious insurgency, banditry, and other social vices. He called on the federal authorities not to allow the harsh, unacceptable regime of exploitative hikes in electricity tariffs to be imposed on the people of the country. As part of ongoing effort to unite all contending interests within the All Progressives Congress (APC), chairman of the ruling party in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) have passed a vote of confidence on the Governor Mai Malabuni-led caretaker Extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress (APC). At the meeting between the chairman of the APC caretaker committee and APC state chairman Alhaji Abubakar Dalori, who doubles as APC's chairman in Borno State and chairman forum of APC chairman in Nigeria, moved the unanimous vote of confidence on the committee. A statement by Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yakini Nabena, said the motion was seconded by Abba Yaro, chairman of the APC in Benue State, during the meeting held at the ruling party's national secretariat in Abuja. The ruling party has in recent times struggled with internal wrangling and mistrust among members, different factions and contending interest groups within its fold, especially at the state level. Rotational chairmanship of Kano State Council of Emirs is put to halt as Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje signs Kano State Emirate Council Amendment Law 2020, which makes Kano Emir as the chairman of the Council of Emirs, unlike in the former arrangement when it rotates across the 5 first-class emirs. With the signing of this into law, Aminu Ado Bayero remains the chairman of the council, with Gidan Shatima as the council secretariat, a stone thrown from the Kano Emir's palace. Before the signing of the amended law, there had been 4 kingmakers from each of the 5 emirates. But now there are 5 kingmakers from each of the 5 emirates in the state. The governor said the arrangement was made to avoid any unwanted situation in an event of appointing an emir, if need be, so that there would be odd numbers, not even numbers. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has called on the Inspector General of Police to redeploy all the disbanded personnel of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad to the state to complement the effort of the military in the fight against insurgency. Governor Zulum, who made the call in Maiduguri Tuesday when he received Minister of Interior Raouf Aribisola, said in Borno State that the SARS had made a mark by using their energy and aggression against Boko Haram. He therefore said the state is not in support of brutality by any security outfit, but to be sincere, here in Borno State, the effort of SARS operatives in the counter-insurgency operations need not to be overemphasized. The governor noted with satisfaction the wonderful job the SARS personnel are doing in containing the security situation in Borno State, and they have been greatly supplementing the effort of the Nigerian Army. The Senate on Wednesday directed its committees on petroleum downstream gas resources to investigate the remote and immediate causes of gas tanker explosions in parts of the country, with a view to preventing reoccurrence and report back in 2 weeks. The resolution was reached sequel to the consideration of a motion brought to the floor by Senator Solomon Olamilekan, APC Lagos West. Coming under Order 42 and 52 of the Senate Standing Rule, the lawmaker noted that on September 24, 2020, a massive gas explosion occurred at Sele bus stop, Iju Ishaga in Ifako Ijaye local government area of Lagos State. According to him, the explosion caused serious body injuries to no fewer than 44 persons while destroying 32 buildings, including a church, an event center, and a plank market, as well as destroying 26 vehicles within a radius of 300 meters of the explosion. The federal government has announced the opening of the National Youth Service School NYSC Orientation camp nationwide. the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, announced the resumption in a tweet on Thursday morning. The tweet read, "The resumption of the NYSC Orientation camp for prospective corps members has been approved and opened on November 10, 2020, and the full COVID-19 protocols will be enforced." It could be recalled that the federal government had ordered the closure of the NYSC orientation camps nationwide over COVID-19 fears on March 18th. With a heavy heart and total submission to the will of Allah, the Nigerian Union of Journalists Zamfara State chapter announced the death of its senior colleague, Bala Abubakar, Zamfara State correspondent of the Triumph newspapers. He died at the Federal Medical Center, Katsina, during a protracted illness. A statement by the state chairman of the union, Malam Abdulrazak Bello Kaura, prayed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive his shortcomings and grant him Jannatul Firdaus as his final abode. He also prayed Allah to give his family and all members of the union the fortitude to bear the loss. On business, over to Fauzia Ibrahim.
A 5-man delegation from BORNO State had arrived in MINNA to undertake a study of the ongoing livestock and fishery transformation program of the administration of Governor Abubakar Sani Bello in Niger State. The team, led by the BORNO State Commissioner of Animal and Fishery Resources, Comrade Juliana Bitrus, was received by the Secretary of the Niger State Government, Ahmad Ibrahim Matani, alongside Commissioner of Livestock and Fishery Alhaji Haruna Nuhu Duko and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry Dr. Wasa Jonathan. Alhaji Haruna Nuhu, who conducted the team-run section of the famous Bobi grazing reserves located at Meshau and Meriga local government area, reiterated Governor Abubakar Sani Bello-led administration determination to making Niger State Nigeria's new livestock hub. He told the visiting team that the Bobi grazing reserves, among others, have been receiving desired attention from the government with robust partnership with development partners, disclosing that Niger State is among the 2 states to serve as pilots in the implementation of National Livestock Transformation Plan, with technical support from Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. In his remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock and Fishery, Dr. Wasa Jonathan, highlighted on the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Dairy Backward Integration Program currently ongoing at Bobi grazing reserves, pointing out that there are 6 companies who have been allotted parcels of land for the project with the mandate of upgrading the local livestock. And that's all on the business update. I'm Fauzia Ibrahim. Have a nice day.
And on the international scene, officials across the United States already charged with securing the upcoming presidential election are taking additional precautions, bracing for the possibility that November 3rd and the days that follow could be marked not just by potential cyber attacks but by violence. The boldest and perhaps starkest warnings are not coming from federal authorities but from state officials, some of whom say foreign disinformation campaigns could fuel a range of problems, from minor disturbances to something much more severe. Election result delays and recounts could result in protests and attempts to occupy election offices. Officials with the New Jersey Department of Homeland Security and Preparedness warned in a threat assessment issued in late September. Incidents of civil unrest resulting in riots, violent acts, and fatalities will converge with election uncertainty, producing confrontations between protesters and counter-demonstrators challenging election outcomes. Other state and local election officials are not taking such warnings lightly, especially after the FBI this month disrupted a plot by anti-government militia extremists to kidnap Democratic Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Michigan officials say they are reviewing the situation with an eye toward the election and plan to issue additional guidance in the coming days. But the kidnapping plot, which according to the FBI also looked at Democratic Virginia Governor Rob Northam as a potential target, is not the only incident that has caused alarm among state election officials. Some have also pointed to a protest in late September outside an early voting center in Fairfax County, Virginia, a suburb of Washington, that quickly went viral. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Nigerian Army remains resolute to the peace and stability of the nation. Northern groups demand state of emergency on insecurity. Senate is to investigate gas tanker explosions in the country. On business, 5-man delegation from BORNO arrives MINNA on study tour of grazing reserves. And on the international scene, America is bracing for possible violence as U.S. election nears. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Ibrahim Garbatunau, I am Samira Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant day. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News. Goodbye.